Then there's I see what you doing. That podcast. That's gonna be big. That's it. I seen it last night. Don't you let nobody discourage. I'll back you. I'll back you.
Welcome back to the Faith and Fun podcast. We're in another location. Don't worry about where. We're here for another conversation. Today, I have someone very special with me. I got my church member. It's hashtag grow. I have with me Devin Barber. Devin, how are you feeling? Other than nervous.
I'm doing awesome, and thank you.
That's good. That's good. So, before you became a wife, before you became a mother, before you went down this autism mother road, who's Devin?
Devin, I would have to say, I think I was this shy country girl from Lancaster. Some people say
Lancaster.
Lancaster, but just a girl that grew up in the country, raised in the church, very family oriented. My mother made sure that we were very close to our family. Um, just kind of laid back girl. That's
Yeah,
that's who Devin was.
yeah. So, can you take me back to um, what motherhood looked like in your mind before you actually stepped into this role? If growing up, everybody has this vision of what we think our
Uh-huh.
life is going to look like.
Hmm.
Who take me to that?
So it's a good question. So I always wanted a lot of kids.
My God,
Yes. So I wanted 7 kids.
mighty one.
I did. And everybody know that I love children. I used to keep everybody's kids growing up. Um, a lot of godchildren. So I always looked at myself as having this big old family with, like I said, my 7 kids. And I wanted them in like multiples. I wanted twins, triplets, so I can raise them all at once to kind of get it over with.
Yeah,
But yeah,
child.
so I did. I wanted a huge family.
Wow. 7
Yeah,
for
7,
completion,
complete,
right?
complete. Yes, Lord.
So the name Emmanuel, was this chosen before all of this or during or
So the name Emmanuel. So I was diagnosed with PCOS, which is polycystic ovary syndrome.
mm,
A lot of women go through it, and and those was in my early 20s. And a lot of women, when you hear those diagnoses, which I didn't know at the time, it means for a lot of women you won't be able to have children, basically. Or if you do, it's hard. You have to do like fertility treatment and stuff
mm-hmm,
like that. So I went through this phase in my life after we got married, and I knew I still wanted children. And so we got married in 2011. So after we got married, we went through treatment and nothing happened. It failed. And I remember the last treatment we went to, and I had my hopes up really, really high. And so um, at the appointment, the doctor came in and was basically like, this didn't work. And so at that point, I was just devastated.
mm-hmm,
Literally came home, got in the bed. And at the time, we had this big old high king size bed. I remember jumping in the bed, crying my eyes out.
mm,
I mean, I cried and cried and cried and cried for hours. And so, Jerome, which my husband, came upstairs and he was like, okay, Devin, I let you cry.
mm.
But you got two options. You can either sit here and cry or you can trust God.
My God.
And so at the time, I'm like, that's kind of harsh, you know.
Yeah,
So, but
yeah.
one thing about him, he's very honest. So he said, you have to just trust God. So from that moment, I kind of let the whole thing go, but kind of had in my mind that God was going to, give us a child, but kind of just stopped worrying about it. And so Jerome told me, he said, you got to let God be God. He'll do it in his own timing. And so he said, when we do have a child, his name is going to be Emmanuel.
Mm.
We're going to have a son. So I'm like, okay, he got some big faith. I said, okay. And so he said, and the reason why we're going to name him Emmanuel, because God is going to be with us through this whole process.
Yeah, I ain't gonna make it through this. Ooh, I ain't gonna make
And
it. I just
so,
put this thing right. Ooh.
so that's where he got his name from, Emmanuel. God was literally with us throughout this journey.
My God. Looking back, do you feel his name carried like a deeper prophetic thing? Because surely God had to be with y'all through all of this.
It was definitely prophetic. Um, I didn't understand it at the time when Jerome said it because deep down I wanted a little girl. But knowing that we were going to have to go through all that we went through, God was definitely with us.
Mm-hmm.
So I know when God gave him that name, he gave it to him for a reason.
Mm.
I didn't quite understand it at the time because I was like, Emmanuel is an old man's name. Like, are you sure, Emmanuel? But as I look back, I understand now that definitely it was a God given name to him.
Yeah. So take me back to when doctors first started expressing concerns about Manuel's development.
So it all started. So when we had Emmanuel, he experienced a traumatic brain injury,
Mm.
so which he almost died at birth.
Mm.
And so from then he had to see a neuro team. He had a whole neuro team that he had to see every 3 months. And so even with the traumatic brain injury, they followed their developmental. So we noticed as his parents that he was having some delays. And so they told us that we think you need to get him tested for autism
Mm-hmm.
because he's showing little signs. And so I'm like, okay. So we went in and had him tested. Um, and we did get the diagnosis that he was autistic. When we first got the diagnosis, I remember driving home from work and the lady called me and she was saying, they basically have already, put in his records that he is autistic.
Mm.
And I remember feeling like somebody had balled their fist up and
Mm.
hit me in the gut. And I began to share some tears. But then I thought about, okay, Jerome ain't gonna let me stay in this little rut.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, Devin, suck it up. So I told the lady, I said, okay. I said, this is what it is. I said, what's next?
Mm.
And I remember the lady saying to me on the phone, she said, ma'am, she said, I don't see this quite often. She said, usually when we call somebody and we tell them that, their child has this diagnosis, they literally just break down. We have to give them support groups. And she said, but you're handling this very well. And I said, ma'am, let me tell you something. I said, my baby almost died at birth. So what is the autistic diagnosis versus God giving him life? So
Mm.
that's where we were at with his diagnosis.
Mm. In those moments, what all were they telling you, and how did you process it, and how did you want to process it?
I wanted to process it as a dream, like this can't be real. But at the same time, I knew at that moment God was going to use us and Emmanuel for his glory.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, we had to just take it and ride it out.
Yeah.
We're gonna see what God about to do with all
Yes,
this.
Lord.
So, not knowing, because I didn't know anything about, having an autistic child or really being around anyone. So we didn't know anything about it. Um, so we just kind of took it and said we're gonna trust God through this process
Mm-hmm.
and let Him lead us in it.
Mm-hmm. When they told you that he may not be able to do things that a normal child would do, talk properly, may not even walk
Hmm.
or, develop, what was did your mind go back to that little girl who wanted, all of these
Oh
children, or
my!
what did you think?
And so when they told us that, so even starting with the traumatic brain injury, they told us that it was like we were in the hospital. I remember them like the day he got released. He got released actually on our anniversary.
Mm.
And so the doctor basically gave him to us and was like, we don't know if he'll be able to walk. We don't know if he'll crawl. We don't know how he's going to turn out because he was put on a cooling blanket right after he was born. So his brain, they put him on this cooling blanket to try to get the swelling down on his brain. And with that, some of the side effects is you can have cerebral palsy. Like I said, you have all these different things, you can have going on. But so basically we brought him home not knowing anything, how he was going to do with anything. So every milestone that he hit was truly a blessing. The walking, the crawling, the talking, um, every day was definitely a faith walk.
Yeah, just literally waking up every day.
Every day.
Was another miracle.
Every day. Because also he had a feeding tube. He was aspirating. And so he ended up getting that out, I think, in like 8 or 9 months. So he was knocking those things out left and right, of what they told us could be, but Emmanuel beat the odds.
My God.
Yes, he did.
What would you say was your lowest moment during this journey as a mother?
I would say the lowest would have to be after the C-section, emergency C-section. I really did not know how bad Emmanuel was. I remember being in the recovery room, and there was a doctor on the right of me, and Jerome was on the left. And she came in and she said, "I'm sorry." She was like, "I know this is a lot." And at the time, I'm like, "A lot? Like, what is she talking about?" And that's when she told us he experienced a traumatic brain injury. And she was like, "We really don't know, because they don't know if they're going to survive or not." They had tubed him automatically, put him on morphine, and put him on a cooling blanket. And Jerome looked at her and said, "If God chooses to take him, we have seen his promise." And at that moment, I remember looking at Jerome and I just lost it. And tears running down our face. God was faithful. He kept his promise. We did see Emmanuel. I didn't get to hold him or anything because they rushed him out, but we did see his promise. And so I looked back at the lady, and my look was all is well. Either way, all is well.
Whatever my life has taught me to say.
It is well. So it was a kind of low moment, but I would have to say, because it hit me in the gut when he said it, but it was so true. But it was a low moment for a moment.
For a moment.
Only for a moment.
Yeah. Because, and I want to sit right here in there, because he kept his promise.
He kept it.
He kept his promise.
He kept it.
He kept his promise.
Yes, he did.
And it's almost like, and I can't quote this right because I don't know the whole Bible, but it's one little part in there. I can't remember. Something happened, and the Lord gave a promised son to somebody. Help me, they had to help me. But I think he ended up taking the son. Something happened.
So it's funny you say that. I told Jerome I felt like in that moment when he said that, I felt like when Abraham and Isaac went up and he was sacrificing his son, he was just being obedient. And at that moment, I felt like when Jerome said that, he was like, "Lord, it's your will." At that moment, it was God's will, whatever he chose to do. And that's the thing with life. You have to accept God's will.
God.
And be okay with God's will.
Yes, Lord. It was, we were at this funeral one time, an apostle, she was praying. She said, "Lord, help us to accept what you didn't allow." Woo, and I still find myself going day to day. I'll be like, "Lord, help me accept what you didn't allow."
Either way.
God.
Yes.
Were there days, which I know there were, where you felt overwhelmed, exhausted, or completely alone with your whole village? Because you have a big village, but I know there were times you probably were in a room full of people and felt so alone.
I tell you, when you are raising a autistic child, every day you get up, you're gonna have some highs and some lows.
Yeah.
Every child is different, but you have to meet them where they are.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, you're talking about children that they're the smartest children,
Yeah.
but like Emmanuel, he will cry for 30 minutes because his batteries in his bubble machine have died. and and I'm trying to calm him down. So with God, you can get through anything,
Mm-hmm.
but you will have those days.
Yes,
I
Lord.
mean, it could be me, Jerome, trying to calm him down at the same time, and I'm like, okay, Lord, um, step in. But at the same time, even on your toughest days, it's still a good day
Mm-hmm. Because you weren't even supposed to be here.
because you weren't supposed to
Yeah.
be here. So, and Jerome always had to bring me back. He loved Emmanuel so much. He don't see any fault in him, I think. So like I said, even I find myself, you know, every day, because you don't know how they're going to be day in and day out, but you definitely get through it.
Yeah.
But you have those moments where you have those little low moments, but you can't stay there.
Can't stay there too
Just be
long.
low for a minute
Yeah.
and get
Yeah.
back up.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever feel like you were failing as a mother or questioning yourself in any way?
I'll have to say a little yes to that. Like I said, the whole diagnosis of having an autistic child was new
Mm-hmm.
to us. So sometimes you don't know what to do or how to do it. Don't come with any instructions.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to go back to the instructions that you do know, which
Mm-hmm.
is the word of God.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God I have someone in my life, draw my waist, Devin, snap back. You got to line up with the word.
Yeah.
Even when I get my little mouth off of, Emmanuel can have a little moment and I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing today. Jump said, no, Devin, we're not speaking that, come back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, always, I sometimes like, well, am I doing this right? But Devin, it don't come with a manual.
Yeah.
You know, God gave me this child.
Mm-hmm.
And so with his help,
Yeah.
we're going to get through this.
Yeah. Yeah. In your lowest moments, did you ever feel angry towards God or question Him?
No, I won't say angry at all. I didn't understand at first why he gave me an autistic
Mm-hmm.
child. I didn't understand it at first. But as time went on, I
Yeah.
understand. I could be at work and all these kids come through and I can identify an autistic child very easily.
Mm-hmm.
So there's moments where God used me to go and
Wow.
calm down, different techniques that we do with Emmanuel. Um, I can be at work and I go help the nurses calm
Mm-hmm.
down autistic children. And Devin, thank you so much. And I'm like, God, this is why you gave me this child, and I encourage mothers that come in there with autistic children.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them Emmanuel's story. I show them Emmanuel pictures
Mm-hmm.
and give them different techniques. Because like I said, it don't come with a
Yeah.
manual,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Because what better advice than to come from someone who's walking
That's
through
it.
it?
That's it.
Yeah. Oh man, this is good. How did this journey impact your marriage and your home life overall?
I really see Emmanuel as just being an extra blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we got married, we made sure that Christ was our
Yeah.
foundation. So I think this would have been a little
Mm.
tougher if we hadn't had Christ as our
Yeah.
foundation.
Yeah.
Because when you got God first, everything else gonna fall into
Yes,
line.
Lord.
And when you got a man that got a faith like Jerome,
That's a good man to
that's a
have.
good man
That's
to
a
have
good
by your
man
side.
right there.
He ain't gonna let me get my soul
Uh-uh.
off.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
And so I think Emmanuel was that extra piece of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, if you even go back and watch our wedding, or it wasn't a normal wedding, people may say, "Oh, y'all did too much. You were shouting at your wedding," but those praise of God moment at our wedding kept us at our lowest.
Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, who's to say you'll even be married to this day if you don't have
Mm.
Christ? People get married don't
Yeah.
last 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I've seen where people have in their marriage have had kids with disability, and one of the
Mm-hmm.
spouses walked out. It was just too
Mm-hmm.
much for him.
Mm-hmm.
So you always have to keep Christ first. And we had that first even before we had Emmanuel. So I know that was a major part
Mm-hmm.
of him just being an extra missing
Yeah.
piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. That's good. That's how you know that y'all were meant to be together.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you go low, I'm gonna bring you back up.
Yeah, come
It's
on
like
back.
a balance. Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you and your husband navigate this differently, and how did you support each other through it? Especially with him being the man of the home, the priest of the home, and making sure you're good. How did you make sure he was good, or did you ever see him? Did he let you see him low?
And it's an also a good question. I've never seen him low.
Wow.
Even when I'm trying not to tear up. Even when we
Take
were
your
in the
time.
hospital the day I had Emmanuel, and at that moment we didn't even know if he was going to come home with us. And I remember laying in the bed and feeling like I had no strength at all. I've never felt this weak in my life. And I remember um, telling Jerome, had to been maybe a year later or so, and I told him, I said, "Thank you for your strength."
Mm.
I literally was pulling off his strength. I remember being in the hospital, laying in the bed, and I was just kind of in and out of it. It was so much to take in. And I'm looking at him over there listening to gospel music, and he in there jamming to gospel
Yeah.
music, and like, and I'm looking at him like, this man over here, like, everything okay? And I'm like, Devin, it is okay. If
Yeah.
he can do this in the midst of this,
Ooh.
you can too. And keep in mind, not knowing if he was tubed, he was on morphine, he was on this cooling blanket that they don't know if it's going to work. Um, but he still had joy even in
Mm.
that low moment.
In chaos. Peace
Peace
that
that
make
makes
no
no
sense.
sense.
Who I won't be going on. Golly.
And so it was just, I said, God. And the funny thing about it, I could not, when I met Jerome, I couldn't stand him. I did
Mm.
not like him. He
Mm.
was from up north, and he was just straight to the point,
Mm.
kind of honest person. And so but he always had this big faith.
Mm.
Um and even before we moved up here, I remember that we were staying in a little apartment, and I came home one day and the whole house was packed.
Mm.
Whole house was packed up. And I'm like, why is the house packed up? And then John was like, we're going to move. We're going to buy a house. Keep in mind, we were young, didn't know nothing about buying a house. I don't even know if our credit was good at the time. But we lived out of those packed boxes for, I know, probably 7 months before we even got an approval from
Mm.
anybody. We and keep in mind, through all this, we had got turned down, went back to the same people, the same bank, and got approved.
Mm. Yeah.
And so I'm saying all that to say, even in difficult moments and low moments, for me, he remained strong and he remained faithful to God.
Mm-hmm.
That's always be connected to somebody
Yes, Lord.
that you can, that first of all can get a prayer through to God,
Mm-hmm.
and in your weakest moments you can be able to pull off their strength.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told him, I thanked him, and I still do, because I never forget that moment feeling so weak that I had to pull off his strength.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never seen him at his weakest.
Yeah. It's almost like the entire marriage and all of this was a big faith walk.
It was
Living out of boxes
living
for
out of
7 months.
boxes.
It's a
Seven.
faith walk. So what is this? We'd have been through worse than this.
Yes.
We
And that's funny you say that. Even after he got the diagnosis of autism, and I told the lady, I said, "Ma'am, he almost died." So death and autism, you can't even compare. So we'll
Yeah.
get through this.
Yeah.
Yes.
I understand why they say, Death, where's your sting? Because
Come on.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm reminded of the story when they were on the boat and Jesus was sleeping. And they said, "Do you not care?
What? What you?
Do
Yes.
you not care?"
It's like, what are you worrying about?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
He got this. And
Mm.
he got us.
Yes, Lord.
Yes.
Because he with you. Woo.
Every step of the way.
Every step of the way. Yes, sir. That's good right there. Take me to your prayer life during that time. What did your prayers sound like?
Ooh, I remember even doing the diagnosis, even
Mm-hmm.
when that happened to him. I remember some days I didn't even know what to pray.
Mm.
I remember literally saying, Holy Spirit, please just intercede on my behalf. I knew God knew my heart. Um, my thing was I just wanted his will to be done. After I heard Jerome say that,
Mm-hmm.
it was really all about his will. Because there were some days that I didn't know what to I didn't even know what to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was just living in the moment of God, what's next? And for some people that's very hard. You
Mm-hmm.
start praying these selfish prayers
Mm.
that, things that you want, and at that moment it was all about it was his will,
Mm-hmm. Now
you
that's a
know.
powerful prayer right
Yeah.
there. Lord, let your will be done.
Ooh, not my will.
But your will. 'Cause you know why you made
Yeah, that's
us.
right.
That is a power.
And he know while you're at that moment,
Mm.
he brought you to that moment for a
Mm-hmm.
reason.
And I hate when people, always say that they automatically feel like it's gonna be the end when you say let your will be done.
Yes.
But if it's his will for him to live,
Come on.
then he gonna do that.
He gonna do that. And that's just what he did.
Yeah, yeah,
And he
yeah.
did just what he said.
Oh, and he
He did
did
just
just
what
what
he
he
said.
said. Yeah. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord. How would you describe your faith now compared to when this first started?
Oh wow. I would have to say my faith is definitely in a different place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even in that moment of not knowing, even with the diagnosis of him being autistic, like I said, it doesn't come with a manual.
Mm-hmm.
So every day you wake up is definitely a faith walk. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know what the next day is going to bring. You don't know what the next second is going to bring. So every day you're living this walk out. You have to look at it as, Lord, I'm trusting you
Mm-hmm.
every step of the way,
Mm-hmm.
not half, but every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my faith has definitely been elevated. We just have to have faith the size of a mustard seed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you have to remove all those doubts
Mm-hmm.
and literally trust God.
Yeah.
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 So I my faith has definitely been elevated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about your village. Because they say it takes a village to raise a child. So how has your village, your sisters, your everybody you're connected to, your mom, was she still living when Emmanuel?
So my mom was still living when we had
Mm-hmm.
Emmanuel. I'm glad God allowed her to see him,
Yeah.
even though when she first met him, Emmanuel was born during COVID.
Really?
Yes, right when COVID started.
Wow.
Yes, so COVID started getting really bad around what April, May of 2020. We had him in June.
Yeah.
Yes,
2026. My God.
yes, and so we did not have a village at the time because it was me and Dad. Nobody could come to the hospital.
Mm.
We went to the hospital every day for almost 2 months. Came home, ate, back at the hospital. So we really didn't have a village.
Mm.
Emmanuel had so many problems and complications. It was me and Dad.
Let me
So,
stop you right there.
mhm,
Now put a pin right there. What
mhm.
did them rides to the hospital feel like? Sound like?
Oh my
Because
gosh.
that just popped right in my spirit when you
Oh
said that. What
Lord,
did them rides?
you're
Not
making
knowing
me
what.
have a flashback. Every day going to the hospital, we listened to Ricky Dillard. I remember every morning it was Ricky Dillard, and it was kind of quiet. Um, And at the time, you couldn't spend the night at the hospital, so
Mm-hmm.
we had to come back home every day. I remember getting in the car every day crying, and Jerome would pull off, and he's like, "Devin, do we need to turn back around?" Because we were having to leave him, at the hospital every day. But every day, going and coming, our rise was all God. We listened to gospel music every day, every every day. But I remember those moments. Just Lord, just help me get through day to day.
Mm-hmm. Because you're still healing from actually giving birth during this entire time. So you're having to, in a sense, put you on hold to make, yeah.
Good point. They told me I was acting like Superwoman
Wow.
because when I had Emmanuel, I had a C-section, and so the next day I couldn't see him until the next day
Wow.
because this whole procedure they had to prepare him for. So I remember they allowed Jerome to roll me down to NICU, and I hadn't seen him. So, Jerome rolled me in. Jerome had seen him just when they were getting ready to roll him out. And so I walk up and I'm like, is this my baby? I mean, he was the reddest little thing you could. I'm like, this baby look like he may be a little mixed. So I'm like, is this my baby? Jerome's like, yeah, that's him. And I remember walking around. I snapped back. So I guess my adrenaline, and I turned into literally Superwoman. I
Yeah.
don't even, there was no healing for me. It's like God healed me instantly.
Yeah.
I remember, like that next day when they told me I can go down, I was up, I was doing it, I was getting it, you know. So yeah, I literally snapped back very fast
Mm.
because I was in mommy mode,
Mm.
and I knew my baby had just experienced something very traumatic.
Mm-hmm. So how did you go through postpartum?
No,
Mm-hmm.
I remember laying in that bedroom I was telling you, and when I seen Jerome over there happy, I said, okay, I gotta be happy to be
Yeah.
over there like that.
Yeah.
And I thank God that I didn't get that low. I did not have postpartum. I did get, sad, like I said, laying in that bed not knowing. But after Jerome said what he said and I seen him and I was able to pull from his strength, I was okay.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
did not have postpartum.
Yeah. Because it's one thing for him to tell you we're going to be strong, but it's another thing for him to walk it out
That's right. I seen
and
it with
to
my own
see him.
eyes.
Ooh,
I seen it with my own eyes.
he keeps his he keeps every promise.
Yes. So for me to see that, just that did it. And I remember laying there crying and I'm saying, wow, this is actually a man, not my sister, not my cousin, actually a man that I can see handling this so well.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a God.
Mm.
And that made it all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because you don't know, and you may know, but we're gonna say you don't know, but you don't know what that did for him.
that's right.
On the inside, he may never tell you
Yeah.
how it boosted his faith.
Hmm.
Oh man.
Yes.
Okay, so back to your village. So when y'all were able to come home, your sisters and your mom and
They weren't able to see Emmanuel for a month.
really,
Yes. With him having, like I said, he had a feeding tube when he came home. Um, he was seeing every specialist, I think it was. Um, but he really couldn't be around people. We couldn't risk him catching COVID. So it was God, me, and Jerome. That
mm,
was the village.
and prayers.
And that
And
was,
I just know hearing them talk about your mom at church now, I know she was a praying woman.
yes.
And so,
And I know she prayed that, God would allow us to have a child. And the funny thing about it, when we did take Emmanuel to see her for the first time, her words were, "Oh gosh, just a big head baby." That's what she said. It's like, Mom, don't go there. But it was a blessing that God allowed her to live to
hmm
see him
yeah.
born.
I was watching a service not too long ago, and they were saying how people can pass away, but God still has to honor their prayers.
Hmm. And I know she prayed for us.
Yeah.
She know I wanted a child.
hmm
Um, so I know it did her heart well. I remember I have a call that Shay had her send me a message,
Mm.
And she said in the message, and Mama had dementia, and she was just basically saying, "I'm praying for you and the baby and Jerome." And so that did my heart well, that she was
Mm-hmm.
still praying even in her dementia
Yeah.
state,
Yeah.
that she was praying for
Yeah.
her.
And his prayers that he continue to answer, that she
That's
didn't
right. That
pray,
yes.
that will always, that he has to answer because she
Yes.
prayed it. Wow. Mm. Can you share a moment, which you already have, but share another moment where he proved what the doctors once said he would never do?
Oh wow. One of the biggest things um, was Emmanuel didn't even know how to properly play with toys.
Mm.
We would take him in for these appointments, and they would tell him to stack blocks. So not only was he dealing with his traumatic brain injury, it's like his brain had to start over before it even began. So not only was he dealing with that, he was also dealing with being autistic. And to look at him, I remember we took him in for an appointment, and he sat there, and she was telling him to stack the blocks, and he began to throw them.
Mm.
He just threw toys. He didn't know how to properly play with them. Well, now this little boy can wash clothes.
Mm-mm.
He makes mommy's coffee.
Wow.
He cooks. He loves to cook his Saturday breakfast, his bacon and sausage. Um, he knows sight words.
Wow.
Um, yeah, he is just proving the doubters wrong, and and God gets all the glory.
Yes, Lord.
Yes. So even like I said, when it comes down to him not even properly playing with toys, just throwing every toy that he would get his hand on, to doing the stuff that he does now,
Mm-hmm.
is truly a
Yeah.
blessing.
And it's things that I would say other parents take for
Take
granted,
for granted.
that they just feel like their child's supposed to know.
Hmm.
Everybody don't know.
And with autism, it's different levels. It's level 1, level 2, and level 3. Emmanuel's considered a level 2. And, people look at, these parents with these autistic kids, and you don't know what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it can be a lot. Um, but just to see a child being able to identify a word,
Mm-hmm.
that warms my heart. And
Yeah.
he lets you know he knows some of his
Yeah.
words. I mean, he loves make and yellow. Those are
Yeah.
words he knows. So
Yeah.
to see those things, that and he's in kindergarten, to see another kindergarten be able to do that, don't take for granted. Praise your
Mm-hmm.
children.
Yeah.
You know, because you raising a child with autism, praise every I don't know, I don't care if it's the smallest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Don't go by a manual,
Mm-hmm.
because there's no manual.
Yeah.
God is the manual.
Yes.
He's the
Yes.
manufacturer. So
Oh,
you
and
know
the supply, giver and taker of life.
so yes, the things people take for granted, their children being able to put on their socks and shoes, and
Mm.
Emmanuel now know how to put on his socks. That's a plus for me.
Yeah.
Those are things that he couldn't do before.
Mm-hmm.
So that is true.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are some things about Emmanuel that people might not see, but are deeply special about him that he
Oh
does?
my gosh. He loves me so much.
Oh.
He really does. That's a love that I had never experienced. It's different from a mother's love, and my
Mm-hmm.
mother loved me dearly. It's different from a spouse's
Mm-hmm.
love. The love he shows me is just, it just melts my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's a very big helper.
Mm.
Sometimes he gets in the way, but he loves to help. Um, and I'll say he's very independent.
Mm-hmm.
Even like his teacher said, I can see Emmanuel living on his own. And Emmanuel is only 5; he'll be 6 in June.
Wow.
But to be autistic, he's very independent. Yes,
Wow.
he is.
Wow. So, what is something you wish more people truly understood about autism?
I would have to say, they are different. Don't mean they're dumb.
Mm.
Doesn't mean they're slow. They
Yeah.
may be a little delayed.
Yeah.
But I think the world has, you know, put the stereotype on, kids with autism. I didn't know much about it either.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. Me and Jerome really don't get into a lot. Like I didn't, when they got this diagnosis, I didn't go Google and, you know, looking at everybody else's
Mm-hmm.
story unless it's something uplifting. I can't compare Emmanuel to another child,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so people need to get understanding of it before you be so judgmental
Mm-hmm.
about parents with these type of children,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So they're different in their own way. And, you know, some of them may not go to the best college, but I know people that are millionaires, billionaires, never step foot in a
Yeah.
college. And
Yeah.
they're very brilliant. They're smart children. So don't write them off.
Yeah. Yeah.
God has a plan.
It may take
Yes,
them a while to get
that's
there, but they
right.
still gonna
They
get
gonna
there.
get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like them taking a while to get there actually is a beautiful thing
Yes,
because
it
you
is.
appreciate the small
Yes,
things. Everybody is in such a rush,
that's right.
but to see life through an autistic lens, you see the smaller things and you appreciate the
That's
smaller
right.
things.
Every time he, even when he was started crawling, you know, even a lot of autistic kids don't eat a lot of food. I mean, some people can count on one hand how
Mm.
many things their children eat. Emmanuel started out, I could probably count on my hand, you know, and I'm like, okay, he was going to therapy. They like keep introducing it to him,
Mm-hmm.
and as you can see, he's a little chubby now. So his that's a blessing. He
Yeah.
eats everything. I mean, he likes collard greens, turnip greens, cabbage, stuff that we couldn't get him, broccoli,
Yeah.
you know, stuff we couldn't get him to eat. You know, that's why I tell parents never give up on your child. It's very tough because
Mm-hmm.
you try to make sure they get everything they need. Um, just like he wouldn't eat macaroni and cheese, and he
Mm-hmm.
calls them smileys because you know it looked
Yeah,
like a
yeah, yeah,
smile.
yeah, yeah.
He just started eating that, I'll say, a year ago,
Yeah.
you know. So it's those small things that, you know, just keep praying and trusting
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
you know, because Emmanuel is he's a living witness
My God.
that God can do it.
Ooh, and that He is with
Yeah,
us.
he's a
Thank you,
faithful
Lord.
God.
Oh, faithful. Do you think there were times that Emmanuel fought harder because he knew y'all were fighting, or he pulled off of y'all's string?
Yes, and you know, we found out um as Emmanuel got older, he loves to be praised. You know, if you tell him he's doing a good job, I mean, he's gonna clap it up and down.
Mm-hmm.
So we just started, you know, every time he would do something, it could be
Mm-hmm.
something small, we would say, "Good job," you know,
Mm-hmm.
like, and that lets him know if I keep doing this, if I keep working hard at this, they're gonna cheer me on.
And then so Emmanuel means God is with us,
Uh
and
huh.
Emmanuel like being praised. I'm starting to connect it. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. What are some misconceptions that you've had to deal with personally about autism? Things that maybe you thought it would go one way, autism, and it didn't go with his diagnosis or, his development.
Um, like I said, I didn't want to paint this picture of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, I didn't really know much about
Mm-hmm.
autism. You know, you just hear people thinking of it as a bad thing. You know, the world had put them in a box.
Mm-hmm.
So when Emmanuel got diagnosed, we really blocked out the what ifs.
Yeah.
So we took it head on as we're going to take one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes when you go into these different specialists, and thank God for them,
Mm-hmm.
Emmanuel's in speech and he's in physical therapy,
Mm-hmm.
but we always go back to God. You know, we put him first.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't put Emmanuel in a box. We don't put pressure on him. We cheer him on. You know, so we didn't really, oh, he's not meeting this goal or he's not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, their timing is not God's timing.
Mm-hmm.
So we literally just take this one day at a
Mm-hmm.
time as
And
it
remember
comes
the
in.
promise
That's it.
that he
He's
made.
still here and God is with us.
Come on now.
So,
So how can people better support families walking this journey, whether it's a relative of someone who has an autistic child or just someone that you come in contact with? How can we better support?
you know, that's a good question. Be kind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have been out in different places. Emmanuel he doesn't have a behavior problem. He just laughs all the time, and
It'd
it's
be so
very
funny.
loud. It's
It'll make you
very
ticklish
loud,
too.
and we sometimes, I mean, when he first, we would take him out in public. When he was like 2 or 3, he used to do these loud noises, and people used to get irritated
Really?
and look at us, and they didn't know who his dad was. And so Jerome would, we could be in Walmart. I remember this one time we was in Walmart and Emmanuel did this I mean, he was this noise. Now he's using words, but at the time it was noise. And the man looked at us like, you need to get him out of here. Kind of stare. And Jerome made this whole announcement at self checkout that Emmanuel was autistic. And so everybody was just looking at it. The man stopped. So be kind.
Hmm.
Like I said, it's different levels to autism. It may be a child that's a level 3, which is severe.
Hmm.
You don't know what that parent is going through,
Hmm.
so just be a little kind.
Hmm.
People they always say, oh, he need a whooping. you know it's not always, it's not that easy.
Hmm.
It's just that child may be trying to express themselves or having
Hmm.
difficulty even trying to tell you what's
Hmm.
wrong. So just being kind to a person goes a long way.
Yeah.
And that's all sometimes that parent needs to hear. And if you are in a situation where you can help out a family member with a child with autism, help them. I don't care if you get them for 15 minutes. Just
Yeah.
take them to get some ice cream or
Yeah.
something, just to give that parent that little break.
Yeah.
Um, and then take them back to them. But any little thing helps.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
I enjoy like seeing autistic children and children with special needs.
Mhm.
They're like the nicest people.
Yes.
I enjoy having conversations with them,
Yes.
and I've always been this way. And people look at me like I'm crazy because I would rather talk to them because like it's just like you just feel like I just want to hug you.
Yes. Because you have compassion for
Yeah.
people, which a lot of people don't have.
Wow.
And that makes that parent feel. I find myself doing that as well.
Hmm.
Sometimes I can be in a store and the child is showing out, and I can pick up that they're autistic, and I'll go over to their parent and tell them it's okay.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it may not be okay to whoever is getting irritated, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just need to hear that and see that somebody cares.
Hmm.
You know, so like block everybody else out.
Hmm.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you never know why people do what they do.
No.
And you never know what. And me being, an Uber driver, each passenger, I picked up passengers that had autistic children, special needs children, and they'll just be loud and doing this. It was like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I said, no, you good.
You're fine.
I said, you
Yes.
good. I said, because you have to do with this. You have to deal with this every day, all day. I
Yes.
just got you for about 30 minutes. I said,
Yes.
I'm good.
Just
I
being
said, you're
kind for
fine.
30 minutes.
Literally.
Yes. Yes.
Because you don't know. You
That's
don't know
right.
their story.
That's it.
And them yelling, you mad at them for yelling. Baby, they ain't even supposed to be
That's
breathing.
right. They still
So
here.
I'll take you
Yeah, I'll take the
yelling.
yelling.
It's just, yeah, you just never know. Show
Yes.
some grace.
Yes.
Because it
And
could have been your story.
that's right. Could be your child.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
yes.
If you could go back to the beginning of this journey, what would you tell that Devin what would you tell that Devin from what you've learned now?
It's all right.
Mm.
Even when you've been hit with those hard blows, it's all right.
Hmm.
Everything's all right. It's a fixed fight. And we already won.
Ooh, we always win. We always win.
Yes.
On hard days now, what keeps you going?
I would have to say God.
Hmm.
Even like I said, you have those days. And I would be sitting up here lying if I didn't
Hmm.
say
Yeah.
you don't have those days. But I know for a fact, as long as you have God and keep positive people around you,
Hmm.
it's already tough. And this is not just for people with children with disabilities or autistic or whatever.
Hmm.
Just in general, going through
Yeah.
life. In
Yeah.
these times we're living in, you need positive for people around
Hmm.
you. So even in my tough days, God, and like I said, I always got Jerome gonna reel me
Yeah.
back in.
Yeah.
So keep positive people around you.
Yeah. What do you believe Emmanuel's life is here to show or teach the world?
God is with you.
Mm.
it that old man name that
Mm,
I thought about, when Jerome was telling me that was going to be his name. God is literally with us
yeah,
because we're in some tough times right now,
yeah,
but through it all.
yeah. Through it all, through it all, I've
I
learned
learned to trust
trust
in
in
Jesus.
Jesus.
I
I've learned.
learned to trust in God.
Thank you, Lord.
Yes. And
And
depend upon his
oh,
word.
and
Yes,
depend on Him.
Lord. Thank
And
you.
now, after this conversation, it just makes more sense now why um Pastor was saying if he holler out in church, it just let us know he with us. It hit different now. And
Yes,
so Sunday,
yes.
I'll be like, I want to be like, man, holler, man. I'm ready
Just
today.
so I can
Oh,
know that
just so
he's
I can
with
know.
me. Yes.
Sometimes I need a reminder that you with
So
me.
you would know
Ooh, so you know just
how
how much I
much.
love you. Thank you,
Yes.
Lord. What is the one thing you want people to always remember about Emmanuel?
That he's a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they pulled him out and he wasn't breathing,
Mm.
automatic, they tubed him. He's been fighting ever since.
Yes, Lord.
He's literally been fighting ever since
Mm.
with the help of God.
Yes, Lord.
Yes.
If you could encourage someone watching who may have an autistic child, may not, may just be going through a trying time when they don't know how it's about to work out,
Hmm.
how it's gonna look. From this place and from what you've experienced, what would you tell them?
I would have to say it's sort of like being in a boxing match.
Mm.
You got two opponents getting in the ring, getting ready to fight. Both of you know you may get some black eye,
Yeah.
you may get a busted lip, you may get a busted eye, some bruises, some, may get hurt, some hard punches. But over in your corner,
Oh, this gonna mess me up.
and when fighters get in the ring, they know they got a good manager over
Yeah.
there. So that manager gonna give them all the tools they need to try to knock that other person out. God give us. He's in our corner. He give us His word to carry to every battle, to every fight. So you get in that ring every day, fighting, swinging, kicking, biting, like Mike Tyson. Do whatever
Mm.
you got to do to keep fighting. But all you really got to do is show up because it's already a fixed fight and you already won because these battles ain't ours.
We just gotta get in the ring
Just get in the
to
ring.
make it look like
Just
we done
show
fought,
up.
so they can say, "I
That's
give it to
it.
you."
And you know you're going to win.
Yeah. Wow.
So just hang in there. Like I said, every day is a fight.
Yeah.
But go in that fight knowing that you've already won.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That you're gonna win either
That you're
way.
going to win either way.
Yeah. Uh, Devin, this was
It's a
nice.
fixed fight. And I appreciate you for taking this time out to hear our story and
No problem.
pray it helps someone else.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just know that you can get through this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can.
I'm excited about this to air.
Yeah.
I know so many people dealing with autistic children who, in a sense, can't voice that they have concerns
Oh.
because it's almost taboo.
Oh.
I mean, how dare you question the Lord of, like,
Mm-hmm.
and for this episode to air, it's going to answer so many
Yes,
questions.
it's really not even like I said, it's really not even worth you asking why. Just walk this journey
Mm-hmm.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Walk because it's not even an answer. People, like I said, I was like, well, Lord, why you gave me this? I know now. It's to help someone else and
Mm-hmm.
to show them that you can get through this.
Mm-hmm.
I've had my tough days. I'm gonna have some more. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
he cried over dead batteries in the bubble machine. But you can get through this.
Mm-hmm.
You can get through. I'm a living witness. You're gonna
Yeah.
have your rough days, but you can get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all autistic parents and even parents of special needs children, God trusted them with them. He could have
Yes,
chose
he could
anybody,
have chose anybody.
but he chose
He
you.
chose you. He knew you can handle this, cause he with you.
Oh, he with us always.
Emmanuel, God is with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for this. Once
Thank
again,
you.
thank you. Faith and Fun family. I know. Just wipe your eyes. Get off the floor. I know. I know this was a really good one. Share, like this, comment, share with somebody who may be dealing with a rough season, tough season, an autistic child, a special needs child. Just share with anyone who just needs a push to keep going. And we'll see you next Sunday. Thanks for watching.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Give him praise, boy. Go give God praise. Go ahead. Let her hear you whine.
Oh my God, my baby did it. Oh Lord, he rolled on his tummy. Good job. Good job, Emmanuel. Good job.
Right after Katrina had wiped out New Orleans, and we were singing a tank, and there was a
You standing up by yourself. Yes, you are. You're standing all by yourself. Yes, you are. Go, Emmanuel, go.
You're going so fast.
Go.
Come on.
Go.
Come on, this way. Look. Walk over. Jump.
Jump. Jump. Not on it. You're going to break it. Jump.
Yellow.
What word is this?
Make.
Good job. What word is this?
Mine.
Good job. What word is this?
Me.
Good job. What word is this?
Up.
Good job. What word is this?
S.
Is. Good job.
Yes.
Is. What word is this?
Up.
No, right here.
Up.
Help.
Up.
That's help.
Up.
That's
The
up.
up. Up.
What's another word you know? What's
Up,
this word?
up.
That's help. What's this
Help.
word?
Blue.
Good job. What's this word?
Job.
Good job. What's this word? Say down.
Down.
Good job. What's this word? Run.
One.
What's this word? What's this word?
On.
Good job. What's this word?
And.
Good job.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello, Devin. Huh?
Yeah, you talking to Devin.
Devin.
And Rome.
Hey, wrong.
And Emmanuel.
Emmanuel.
What you supposed to tell him? Look at the camera. Right here. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
What else?
What else?
What did you say you was gonna tell Devin? Not coughing. I love you.
I love you.
I love y'all.
I love all y'all.
Right.
We love all you.
And what you doing for the baby?
What you doing for the baby when you come?
No, Ma, you saying the wrong thing. What you doing for the baby?
What?
You praying for the baby.
Oh, she know we praying every day for the baby.
Okay, tell her you love her.
We love you.
I mean, you love all of them.
I love all you all.
See you. Talk to you later.
See you, talk to you.
Been there, I see what you doing. That podcast, that's gonna be big. That's it. I seen it last night. Don't you let nobody skirt. I'll bet you.